We are going to look at a second example on how to solve a quadratic equation by the technique of completing the square. These are the steps, and this is the question. Well, first, we need to make sure that we have just x squared plus bx on the left hand side. And it looks like we have that. We just have the two terms on the left hand side. But then the first step is we insist to have just x squared. I don't want to have the 5 in front of the x squared in our situation. So what we should do first is divide everything by 5. Divide everything by 5 throughout the equation. This way, this 5 and that 5 will cancel out. And then I will end up with just x squared minus negative 40 divided by 5, which is minus 8x equals to 3. Okay? And then we have that. Now we have x squared plus bx. We have just this on the left hand side. Okay? And again, if you want to bring the 3 to the left hand side, then you'll realize it's actually not factorable. So let's not look at the 3. 3 is not a number that we are going to consider for now. We just want to look at this x squared minus 8x. But then, in order for us to solve this, we should think about what number that we are going to add so that the left hand side will be a nice perfect square. Okay? And that number that we are going to add, which I left a spot right here purposely, that number is 1/2 times b raised to the second power. So here I have x squared minus 8x. b is negative 8. The number in front of the x term, negative 8. Okay, and I will do this on the side. 1/2 times negative 8, and then take this result, square that. So usually just probably do something like this. So 1/2 times negative 8, I can write that as negative 8 over 1. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 8 4 times. So 1 times negative 4 is just negative 4. Okay? And we have just negative 4 to the second power. And that's negative 4 times negative 4, it's positive 16. So regardless what you get inside, this result should always be a positive number. So you should be always adding a number right here. This time, we are adding the number 16. So we plus 16 here, and then also add 16 here. Okay? And now, we can just look at the left hand side, x squared minus 8x plus 16. If we do these two steps correctly, then the third step here, when we factor this is always going to be factorable. And even better, we can always factor the left hand side to be something inside to the second power. And just to take a look of this, to factor x squared minus 8x plus 16, it will be something like x here, x times x is x squared. And to break down positive 16, thinking about two numbers to multiply to get 16, we can do 4 and 4. That wouldn't be negative 8 though. So we need negative 4 here and negative 4 right there. Just as advertised, as I promised here, I have two factors, they are the same. So here I can actually write this as x minus 4 squared equals to 3 plus 16, which is 19. So you can just do this to ensure that this is actually factorable, to double check. It's always good to double check. And the more you do this kind of question, you'll then notice when you have x minus 4, you actually see this 4. You actually see this negative 4 already. This negative 4 here, okay? This negative 4 right here, it's exactly the same number as what you have inside of these parentheses, okay? It's exactly the same as 1/2 times b, the inside, negative 4. It's always going to be the same, okay? So maybe I will say this is one of the good reasons where you should always show all your steps, because now we can actually use our the middle of the steps, which is looking at this -4 here, and then we can get our answer for this part. So it's always good to show all your steps. Now we have x minus 4 parentheses square is equal to a number. We just need to solve that. We just need to solve something inside square is equal to a number. And we are going to solve that by taking a square root of both sides. Okay? So then here I'm just going to take a square root here, and then square root here, put a plus minus there. The square root cancels, I get x minus 4 equals to, well, square root of 19. Again, we cannot simplify that, so we are just going to leave it as it is, square root of 19, and then maintain the plus minus. Even though here it looks like we should break down into two equations, indeed, right here we have the two equations as well, but we just condense the two equations into just one. It looks like just one. Okay. So x minus 4, I need to plus 4 on both sides. Cancel this. I get x by itself equals to 4, positive 4, plus minus square root of 19. And this really means 4 plus square root of 19 as one of the solution. And then another solution is 4 minus square root of 19. It's just like a shorter way, a condensed way to write the solution down. So maybe we make a note. This really means x equals to 4 plus square root of 19, or x is equal to 4 minus square root of 19. Okay. However, since we cannot do much with this, and they look exactly the same, well, almost the same, so we just combine these two into the plus minus. So that's what it means. Cool, huh?